Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. The City of Greensboro has reported several homicides in 2020, prompting Police Chief Brian James to ask residents to work within their neighborhoods and work with the police department to solve and prevent these violent crimes. Chief James says, "I hope as a community we will embrace honest conversations about how we can build, repair, and improve relationships and build trust. As a city, my hope is that we can partner together to make Greensboro safe for all people." GPD remains committed to reducing violence in our community. The department will continue to look at ways to adjust resources in neighborhoods and find ways to improve relationships in the communities most affected. Chief James says he welcomes input from the community aimed at reducing violence. Chief James also wants to strengthen relationships with organizations that have the appropriate resources to address the issues that lead to violent crime. Chief James is asking the entire community to band together and look out for each other by forming or joining existing neighborhood watch groups that can work directly with police to reduce crime in the city. The public comments and public hearing phases have been completed for the proposed funding for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. The 2020 through 2024 Consolidated Plan includes programs and projects proposed for the next 5 program years, which runs from July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2025. The annual action plan is considered the application for HUD funding and outlines how the city will use anticipated community development block grants, emergency solutions grants, housing opportunities for persons with AIDS funds, and funds for the Home Investment Partnership Act to address needs in Greensboro and in neighboring home consortium member jurisdictions. The annual plan includes programs and projects proposed for July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. The city will submit the consolidated plan and annual report to HUD by August 1st. The City of Greensboro has an interactive map available on the city's website to track neighborhood response to the U.S. Census. The interactive map is updated daily with responses from the Federal Census Bureau. Each census tract is assigned a number identified by colored sections of the map. Each color indicates the percentage of households in that tract that have already responded to the census. To determine which census tract you live in, simply type in your address in the box located at the top left corner of the map. To reveal the response rate for your area, click on the first icon at the top right corner of the map. Census data will continue to be collected until October 31st. Residents are encouraged to bookmark the link to the map and use social media to help spread the word about the census. Greensboro has done a great job responding to the census, but more action is needed to secure the city's share of federal funding for health care, education, housing, roads, and utility infrastructure. According to Make NC Count, the state could lose more than $16,000 in federal funding over a 10-year period for each resident who is not counted in the 2020 census. In an effort to help each of us improve our quality of life, the city developed a partnership with Cone Health to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Let's take a moment to check out today's news for your health.
Over 39 million Americans suffer from migraine headaches, including men, women, and children. So migraines are headaches, usually lasting between 4 and 72 hours. They can interfere with daily activities of life. Associated symptoms include nausea and later sound sensitivity. Common features of migraines include lateralization to one side of the head, a pounding or a throbbing quality, visual or other types of auras, as well as dizziness and vertigo. Most people with migraines have identified triggers. Some of the more common triggers include stress, whether that's emotional or physical, bright lights, loud noises, strong smells. Weather changes can trigger migraines. Dehydration, Sleep disturbances. Restorative sleep is very, very important in migraine management. Alcohol, such as red wine or beer. Certain foods, especially those that contain nitrites or nitrates, or sulfites, artificial sweeteners, MSG. The best thing that you can do is keep a headache journal or diary. That'll help identify patterns and triggers to your migraines or headaches. When you're having a migraine, the best thing that you can do is to treat it early. Find a calm, relaxing environment. Turn the lights off. Try temperature therapy, cold packs or warm water. Even drinking a little bit of caffeine can help, but you have to be very careful with caffeine. There are medications that you can use, whether they're over-the-counter medications such as ibuprofen or acetaminophen, or prescription medications such as triptans. But I do have to warn that taking medications for acute migraine treatment, or when you have the migraines, can cause something called rebound or medication overuse headache if used more than 10 times a month. You should let your doctor know if you have more than just the occasional migraine or headache, or if your headaches are worsening, or if the symptoms are changing in severity, frequency, or quality. You should also let your doctor know if migraines or headaches are triggered by sneezing or coughing or laying down or by sex. And of course, you should always seek the advice of a medical professional if you have any concerning symptoms such as fever, confusion, excessive vomiting, shortness of breath, new vision loss, or anything that's concerning or new to you. Thanks for joining me today. I hope this was helpful for you. For more information, go to conehealth.com/headaches. I'm Dr. Antonia Ahern.
The annual North Carolina Folk Festival is the latest large-scale event being altered due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We'll have that story and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Due to ongoing community-wide health concerns related to COVID-19, plus the logistical challenges of creating a safe in-person experience, this year's North Carolina Folk Festival will take place virtually. The pre-recorded live performances will be streamed online the weekend of September 11, 2020. The virtual North Carolina Folk Festival will be produced in partnership with 7 Cinematics, the Emmy Award-winning video, music, and streaming production company based in Greensboro. 7 Cinematics has streamed and broadcast notable performing artists such as the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jack White, Dead & Company, and Kanye West, just to name a few. The North Carolina Folk Festival and the Piedmont Blues Preservation Society recently announced plans to jointly present the Carolina Blues Festival as part of the Folk Festival in September. This partnership will be part of the virtual event. To learn more about the North Carolina Folk Festival, please visit the festival website. The North Carolina Folk Festival will continue to post updates on its Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. Construction on the downtown Greenway continues to move forward along Murrow Boulevard from Gate City Boulevard to Fisher Avenue. Extensive work is underway at Murrow Boulevard and the Smith Street Bridge due to major repairs that will need to be done to the bridge to prepare it for the installation of the Greenway Trail to connect to Fisher Avenue. Completion is expected in October 2020. Original streetcar tracks and granite cobblestones were uncovered at the Summit Avenue Bridge going over Murrow Boulevard. Thanks to David Wharton and the Dunleith neighborhood, the cobblestones have been documented and preserved. Vision Zero Greensboro, in partnership with John Klopp State Farm Insurance Agency, is hosting a transportation safety summer art and essay contest. This is part of the What's Your Safe campaign. The deadline to enter is August 14th. Rising elementary, middle, and high school students are asked to help promote transportation safety in a short essay or through visual arts by showing how to stay safe when riding in a car, on a bike, or walking. 4 out of the first 6 months of 2020 have had an above average number for Greensboro traffic fatalities compared to data from the last 5 years. Greensboro traffic fatality victims are younger than previous years. This year, 63% of people who died in Greensboro crashes, excluding pedestrians, have been between the ages of 20 to 40. The contest will award cash prizes funded by John Klopp State Farm Insurance Agency in elementary, middle, and high school categories. First place will win $100, second place $50, and third place $25. The winners will also be featured on the city's social media platforms. For the list of contest rules and to obtain an entry form, please visit the city's website. The need for workforce development has become more apparent in the face of COVID-19. The department matches job seekers with jobs. Coming up after the break, we'll talk to the Director of Workforce Development about the reopening of the centers. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Matching job seekers with jobs and valuable skills training is the core of workforce development. Those resources were in even higher demand as a result of the pandemic. Joining me now to tell us about the reopening of the centers in Greensboro and High Point is Chris Rivera. He is the Director of Workforce Development. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the show.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Carla.
Thank you, and it's always good to see you. So tell me, how has your team been operating even though the centers were closed?
So it's been a really interesting past few months for us. Much like many organizations that are public facing, we had to move all of our services to virtual. So we had to continue to provide, services over the telephone. We had launched some text platforms to engage the public and businesses to get them connected to jobs. We've deployed iPads to our staff to do virtual video interviews with customers that were in need of services. So it's been an interesting few months, and we're kind of really excited that we're getting back to seeing people in person.
Nice. Now the centers are back open. You made that decision and you initially thought you would have opened much sooner than now, but of course COVID has kept everything up in the air. What are your new hours of operation?
So we've, left our center operations pretty much like they had been. We will be open, or we are, open Monday through Friday. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays we'll be seeing customers between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Wednesdays, to accommodate individuals that may not be able to get in during traditional hours, we are opening from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then on Fridays, we'll be open 9 to 2 to allow some hours in the latter part of the day to continue to do staff development, look at the system, how it's been working, and make necessary adjustments.
Okay, and speaking of adjustments, everyone is always concerned about coming into a facility. Is it safe? What are the things that you've put into place to ensure safety for not only your clients, but also staff?
Yeah, the safety of the public and our staff are of the utmost importance to me and the rest of our leadership team. We've outfitted all of our workstations with sneeze guards. We have social distancing markings throughout the Career Center. In public areas in which individuals are in career resource areas, there are large sneeze guards there to allow, just again, for that added protection. We will be limiting the number of individuals that we will allow into the facility at one time, just to make sure that there's ample space for people to move about.
Okay, well that sounds really good, and I know folks appreciate all of those added elements, and we've seen it everywhere. It's become the new norm, and right now one has to wonder, what is the normal in terms of the job forecast? How is that currently looking?
So economies are improving very slowly and not at a rate that we are overly comfortable with. When we look at data from the month of May, we had some 12,000 jobs that had posted, and that's, half, if not 3 times as less as we've seen in previous years. And the concern is that we have tens of thousands of residents that are currently unemployed, somewhere in about 40+ thousand at this point. Although it's coming back slowly, it's not going to be able to accommodate the vast numbers of people that are going to be looking to get back into the workforce. So our encouragement is that, to get into the career centers, allow us to help get you connected to employment as soon as possible.
Okay, well, Chris, we are glad to know that you're reopening the Greensboro and High Point Workforce Development offices. We wish you much success in that, and we just wanted folks to be aware if they've gotten used to the fact that your doors were closed or it was appointment only, now they can start making those appointments to come back in.
Thank you.
Come back and keep us posted.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Stay tuned for some useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. Due to COVID-19, the City Council is meeting virtually. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. City Council meetings usually take place on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building located at 300 West Washington Street. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. The Music for Sunday Evening in the Park, or MUSEP concert series, will return virtually. July 19th kicks off the 41st season of the popular free event. Creative Greensboro, the city's Office of Arts and Culture, is committed to producing the series either in person at locations around the city or on Facebook Live, depending on the best practices for safe gatherings. The first two events, July 19th and July 26th, will be streamed live. A final decision on in-person or streaming will be posted at least 2 weeks prior to the remaining concert dates. Greensboro's Chief Creative Economy Officer, Ryan Deal, says we are closely following state and local health guidelines to determine whether the concerts will be hosted traditionally or streamed live on social media. We also realize social distancing and gathering restrictions may require adjustments to the artist lineup and rehearsals. To review the MUSEP concert locations and performers, visit the Creative Greensboro website. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first we have an important message regarding COVID-19.
Remember the 3 W's. Wear a cloth face mask covering, wait 6 feet from others, and wash your hands often. By working together, we can adjust to this new normal and continue to save lives.
Welcome back. National Parks and Recreation Month is recognized each year in July. The City of Greensboro is celebrating with a series of special events, programs, games, and fun activities. This year's theme is We Are Parks and Recreation. The City Parks and Recreation Department will host a youth fishing tournament, family trivia on Thursdays, a scavenger hunt on Fridays, and basketball fans can take part in the NBA 2K20 tournament. This year's Parks and Recreation Month is shifting the focus to highlight the selfless work Greensboro Parks and Recreation employees do throughout the year. Each Wednesday, a staff member will be profiled on Facebook. There are more than 150 dedicated professionals who serve our community with pride. Follow Parks and Recreation on Facebook and Instagram for other activities throughout the month. For more information and to review the official scavenger hunt rules, visit the city's website. Straight ahead on the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO shout out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO shout out. This week's shout out goes to the City of Greensboro. For the third consecutive year, the city ranks in the top 20 of Wallet Hub's report for best-run cities in America, coming in at number 12. The city of Greensboro ranked high in financial stability, total budget per capita, and education. To determine the effectiveness of local leadership, Wallet Hub compared 150 of the largest U.S. cities based on their operating efficiency. For each city, Wallet Hub constructed a Quality of City Services score comprising of 37 key performance indicators grouped into 6 service categories, measured against the city's total per capita budget. Way to go, GSO. Please remember, as more places continue to open, wear your face covering, wash your hands often, and wait 6 feet apart. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings. Be sure to download our weekly podcast, Talk City Greensboro, and now GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.